Defenders have become the signature dish of champion designers in recent months, so I think it would be prudent for us to rank the most dangerous defenders in a top 10 list so at least people know exactly how their soul will be ripped from their body before it happens. Let's give some honourable mentions. Captain Britain narrowly misses out on a spot on this list. Her persistent chip damage from neuroshocks can only be reduced or avoided by a select few tech characters, and her safeguard mechanic straight up cannot be removed by any champion that currently exists. However, she is relatively rare as a 7-star and thus not on this list. I've already covered the details of this buff in multiple aneurysm-inducing rants previously on this channel, so let's move on. The buffed version of Sentinel has become the brick wall that summoners love to bash their heads against with random cosmic champions, often with hilarious results. What makes Sentinel challenging is not that he's difficult to fight, but that the fight never seems to end. His analysis charges make a rank 4 Sentinel seem basically unkillable, but while this is very impressive, he too narrowly misses out on this list. The High Evolutionary is yet to grace the contest with his glorious metallic mohawk, so of course he is not on this list. But when he arrives, he is looking to replace Photon as the big, bad science defender with the Mixmaster node literally built into his kit, just with auto-block instead of evade, and a skill class in dire need of champions that are, well, any good. Nick Fury is certainly the senior citizen on this list. Released in 2019, Nick Fury only properly went out of fashion very recently, with the introduction of 7-star rank 3 and rank 4 champions, meaning basically any 6-star gets manhandled on defense no matter who they are.
Oh, you want to get fucked up? You want to get...
That was, of course, until the Heart of Fire event coated 5 god tier 6-stars in purple and sold them for a good buck. Nick Fury is no longer someone any 7-star can just bully. His second life grants him a true health pool comparable to that of Sasquatch. His Fury's Fury means a single light-ending combo is enough to wipe out any champion vulnerable to bleed, and his tactical charges means the threat of an unblockable, undexable SP1 is always looming. He was a menace 6 years ago, and he's a menace today. Put simply, Nick Fury is inevitable. I suppose Onslaught does resemble a crab, if a crab stood upright. But otherwise, that comparison is more upsetting than useful, so let's get into what makes this jerk so difficult to fight. Numerous resistances, non-contact attacks, an AI that has a mind of its own, and daunted effects that cut off the willpower mastery, leaving you defenseless against the, and you'll pardon the pun, onslaught of Neuroshock chip damage. Clearly, Onslaught is packed to the brim with defensive utility that is guaranteed to make you question why you got out of bed this morning. The only reason he isn't higher on this list is because of the wide array of pseudo-counters and fighting techniques the player base has developed to tackle this bastard. Still, that's what happens when thousands of summoners are left crying for help in the face of a telepathic crustacean. Fighting the third Nazi to enter Marvel Contest of Champions almost drove me to invade Poland. While it's been shown that several champions can punish the mechanized Teletubbies' heavy attack, this does not take away from the fact that Zola is an incredibly punishing defender that has synergized incredibly well with recent and current Battlegrounds metas. Metas such as Stunning Reflection, Invade, or Ebb and Flow Knockdown take Zola from an already challenging defender to one of the most dangerous the game has ever seen. His Cowardice passive makes him invulnerable to big special attack crits. His Disintegration passive on SB2 activation is guaranteed to ruin your Battleground score, and his Fury, should you get clipped with an SB1, is more than enough to wipe out your entire health pool in a single combo. That being said, destroying this guy with Spider-Punk will never cease to crack me up. If you want me to spend valuable time explaining Elena Belova's kit, too bad. Imagine Bullseye had a baby with the 9.2 protection nodes. There you go, that's all you need to know. Now, her protection mechanic that caps the opponent's attack rating at 60% unless she is suffering from a daunted effect, in which case it is capped at 100%, is something we are yet to know the full power of. We are discovering it slowly as last season it became apparent she is immune to the invade node, and by extension also immune to power shield. This, combined with the threat of her unavoidable reversals in elimination mode, has made her one of the most popular rank 4 choices coming out of the July 4th sales. However, as much of a brick wall as she is to any character with mechanics that rely on attack rating, and that's quite a lot, it only takes one Daunted to remove this safety net. This means her defensive influence will be curbed by the mutants of the future. After that, it's your turn to eliminate her. Whoever's idea it was to introduce a character who only lands critical hits and can land those critical hits through the block deserves to be taken into a dark room and shot. It cannot be underplayed how far that ability goes towards decimating your battleground score through the block. I don't think Kabam really knew what they were doing with this one. I have never seen so many hard counters get released in succession in response to a single champion. Every single mutant released after Bullseye has had some or all of their mechanics built towards neutralizing him. The sheer abundance of those counters, coupled with all the pseudo-counters discovered by the community, is the reason he is not much higher on this list. In response to Negasonic Teenage Warhead's counter-evade, I half expect tech defenders of the future to have a counter-evade, then some cosmic champion could have a counter-evade, and so on round and round ad infinitum until the Earth falls into the sun. All around the world, firms like OpenAI, Microsoft, and Apple are working towards developing the first artificial general intelligence. Such a machine would be humanity's final invention. As its knowledge and ability to solve problems grows exponentially, it could eliminate all our society's problems, or eliminate our society. But I feel these efforts are futile. Kabam has beaten these giants to the punch on AGI, and it's called Enchantress's AI. I swear this bitch is sentient. I've put her at number 5 on this list as an average of sorts. Any champion can technically do this fight, and she could let you off the hook with a 51,000 point score in Battlegrounds, but she could also delete your entire bloodline and be worse than any other champion on this list. The AI decides your fate. Kabam made us wait, and my god, it was worth it. All the people who were too lazy to complete the various objectives needed to pick up the Deathless champions have been on industrial levels of copium since early January. My thoughts and prayers are with them. The raw stalling power of Deathless Thanos is what propels him to such heights on this list, with 3 protection passives every 25% health, Energize and Threat of Unstoppable always looming. The player is forced to either respect him and slow down, or die. It's that simple. The upshot is the player is left with very few options to choose from if they want to achieve a respectable score against this beast in Battlegrounds. Photon has been described by many as the perfect champion. Her defensive kit is one that technically can be circumnavigated by the player's skill, and her offensive power is undeniable. While this is true, I am still firmly of the belief that a 7-star rank 4 signature level 200 Photon is one of the most terrifying things a man can see before bedtime. Punishing is not the word. Her electromagnetic charges go up faster than RFK's erection at the sight of a vaccine conspiracy theory, and her energy vulnerabilities mean that sometimes a single hit into block is all it takes to delete 15% of your health. This is all well and good, but the real kicker when it comes to Photon is the pathetic state of the skill class. All defenders on this list have their hard counters, but Photon, especially when we consider how long she's been in the game for, has relatively few. Kingpin, as a 6-star champion, is at a severe disadvantage when it comes to tackling big photons. Pre-tune-up Patriot is a limp-dicked attempt at a hard counter, and this leaves Mantis, Crossbones, and Silver disabled with a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to neutralizing the threat of Photon. At the highest rank and rarity, Photon definitely deserves a spot this high on the list of big, bad defenders. This is a BMW 1 Series M Sport. It's 15 years old, has done just over 80,000 miles, and is guaranteed to make you look like a wanker wherever you go. I found it in less than 10 minutes of googling, available for less than it takes to buy the 7-star version of Dark Phoenix. If you Google the phrase chip damage, you will see a picture of Dark Phoenix. If you are not well practiced and prepared, and do not take a hyper-specific RPG counter to challenge this demon of defense, you will end up 6 feet under before you can say the phrase, "Kabam are greedy bastards." In most cases, you'll end up 6 feet under anyway. She possesses the same 3% safeguard passive on Captain Britain's kit, but this time Kabam were gracious enough to allow us to disable it for a split second with an SP3. How kind. Buy the new champion, or buy a car. I'd buy myself a shred of dignity. Who else would it be?
Come on. What did you expect?
A champion so notorious for making summoners think twice about taking a bath with the toaster, I fondly nicknamed him the Terrorist of MCOC. A name he deserves. Everything in the Serpent's kit befits the god of fear. Every last mechanic has been meticulously chosen to shut down as many champions as possible, as effectively as possible. Everything from his non-magnetic armor to shut down Magneto, to his enormously powerful dread passives to cull instant damage effects from Spider-Ham or Gallon, is carefully designed to create a defender like no other. The claim that this crime against humanity is anywhere close to balanced has Thanos turning in his grave. Even if you have the hard counters, you are not safe. One slip-up, one missed intercept, one misjudgment, you are dead. I've seen my fair share of people die horribly to the Serpent in Alliance War and Battlegrounds while using Spiral, Kushala, America Chavez, Isophene, Werewolf by Night. There is no escape. As he gains Cullforce charges throughout the fight, the player is gradually run out of options. The Pierce passive cuts through even the highest of block proficiencies, the Inexorable passive pushes you further and further towards your own corner, all while his Resist passive happily soaks up any attempt to fight back. And just when you think you've won, the real battle begins. The Serpent strengthens his chokehold on the opponent as they are subject to devastating back-to-back, unavoidable special attacks and healing that can rival Realm of Legends Wolverine. Give up and bow down.